Tech Garage, presented by RockAuto.com, is brought to you by Clamp Tight, the clamp making tool, and by RockAuto.com, all the parts your car will ever need. Tech Garage, presented by RockAuto.com, rolls on, and you're going to love this segment. This is something we call Keep It or Crush It! That's right. We have some vehicles out there, Tom. We're going to decide whether we're going to try to maintain them and maybe flip them, maybe keep them, or if they're a lost cause and we're going to have to crush it. The vehicles we have out there, 07 Nissan Quest minivan. We've got an 87 Ford F-250, a classic Chevy K10 truck that we think we're going to keep, and a 2010 Scion. So how can you use RockAuto.com to decide whether you're going to keep these cars or get rid of them?
Well, you can look over the vehicle and see things it obviously needs, like rusted out body panels and new brakes, new shocks, and just start putting those in a cart and then see what the total is. And then I would take that amount and add it to the purchase price of the vehicle and see what that total is, and then see if you could take that total and buy an equivalent vehicle. And I'm guessing you won't be able to. If you buy a $3,000 used car and put $2,000 worth of parts in it, you have a $5,000 vehicle and you can't find an equivalent used vehicle that costs that much. Especially if it's like a minivan and the trucks, it's like if you need to haul 7 people, you need a work truck. A new pickup truck starts at $50,000 an hour or whatever, so you can put a lot of parts in that.
Well, RockAuto.com has all the parts your car will ever need and at reliably low prices, which is really important in today's environment. Speaking of environment, it's blazing hot out there. John and Josh are out there. I'm going to go join them.
Well, before we get to the vehicles behind us, let's talk about that F-150. Josh, you put the coils, the spark plugs all the way in it, all the way around. What did you find out?
Hooked up the scan tool to the Ford and went through the thing, got to the power balance test. Looked at that graph. I mean, it's a straight line, man. There's no bouncing around. Looks really good.
Yeah, that graph was nice and straight before it was dropping out to 4 and 6, and you can see it go right across the screen. So good job. That car's done. Well, let's get to the segment y'all been waiting for. This is Keep It or Crush It, man. And we got some vehicles behind us. We're going to talk all about keeping them or crushing them. Dave, there's a lot to it when you flip vehicles.
Well, yeah, and it's becoming more popular because used cars are so expensive these days. New cars are even more expensive, which makes the used cars more appealing. So a lot of folks want to keep the car that they have for a long time, as long as they can, or as we're finding out, flipping it is also a good little side thing. You make a few extra bucks and help someone get a nice car.
So let's talk about our flips back here, Dave. Let's start with contestant number 1.
This is really cool. Contestant number 1, we've got a great variety, and this one is a 1984 Chevrolet pickup. It's a square body, more and more popular, and we found it with a manual transmission, 4-wheel drive, and the short bed, which is almost impossible to find because back in those days it was just a truck and people used them and abused them. Well, now the Gen Xers want these vehicles because it's what we grew up riding in. We bought it for $800. It was a barn find, truly a barn find. $800. All we have to do is get it running, and we get like $8 grand for this thing. And if we want to go to the next level and fully restore it, these things are getting between $40,000 and $50,000. So
yeah, super rare vehicle.
We are keeping this one.
Yeah,
we know this is an automatic.
I personally love that truck, but let's move on. This is a 1987 F-250. Kind of the theme of the trucks. I mean, trucks are super expensive, but you know, this one, we'll check the mechanical integrity of them as we start getting into the season. We paid about $1,000 for it. Looks like this one may be a flip, or we'll keep it. We'll see how it works out. Now, Josh, I know you're all about a van. We actually have a 2007 Nissan Quest. What about the van, man?
And I'm a fan of the van, man. The reason is I'm a family guy. I have some kids, drive around. A lot of people out there have kids as well. So this thing, it looks kind of dented up and stuff, but we'll see. Hopefully it's going to be a keep it. I don't want to crush it. Hopefully we can be able to keep it and get it to work out.
Last but not least, we got a Scion here. You got, I should say.
Yeah, this is.
And wow, Dave, I'm crushed, man. I thought you did a little more research on this one.
Well, the guy said this ran, and I thought maybe with the hood being beat up the way it is that I could get a good deal on it, and I did. He said it ran. Well, here's what we got.
Oh, it runs, but hey, Benjamin, go ahead, fire it up. Ooh. That's good. Yeah, it's going to run, but not for long. That knock, that is a dangerous situation. Sounds like a rod knock really deep in that engine. You could rebuild it, but $100 an hour, you're talking about 20 hours, that's $2,000. You can put a motor in, that's $3,000.
$3,000 on a car.
Not a good idea.
The Blue Book value is only about $2,000. And clearly on this one, I made a mistake trusting somebody at his word. So, John, I think we're going to crush it.
We're gonna crush this one? Josh, we're gonna crush it!
We're gonna crush it!
Woohoo!
Oh, he's gonna crush it.
Oh boy! Well, I'll tell you what, this has been a phenomenal start to the season, Dave. The garage ed with the AC fundamentals, this is gonna be real good. We got our flippets and we nailed it with that F250. That thing is going smooth as ice, brother.
These flips are going to be great. Once Josh is done with this, we're going to start working on these vehicles. And in the coming weeks, we're going to show you each of these vehicles and what it's going to take to get them back up and running.
Yep.
And do not forget, send us your email questions and feedback at techgarage.tv.
Yep, we'll see you next week. That's enough of this mess. That worked out good.
We could not do Tech Garage without production assistance from Chipola College in Marianna, Florida. Chipola was founded in 1947, and it was recently ranked among the top 3 community colleges in the United States.